Alright folks, welcome back to this segment of videos, and I want to apologize firsthand because I've been posting videos of our trip with my boys, of this this playlist that I have going here on this backcountry trip to the Smokies, but I don't think, I haven't really given you an exact visual or aerial visual of our hike. So right now, where the videos are at currently is Laurel Gap Shelter. That's where we are spending that night right now. And I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit more in here, but this is where we're at. This is Gatlinburg, Tennessee, a little famous town in Tennessee, a lot of tourist area. I kind of compare a little bit to like the Dells area, Wisconsin Dells. Pigeon Forge is another little popular town for for a lot of resorts there, a lot of outdoor things to do. But anyway, those are the kind of point of interest maybe you can kind of connect to. And so all of this is the Smokies here. So the Smokies kind of goes through Tennessee, North Carolina, as you can see here, and then a couple other parts. So what we did here is that we ended up arriving at Gatlinburg in that first one of the first videos that I posted, that little Motel 6, I think it was, where I kind of ranted a little bit. But that's where we stayed that Friday night. And then early morning we got up, and then we went down on 441. And let me tell you, my hat goes down to the Smoky Mountain National Park Rangers, because they did call me up ahead of time. They called me that Wednesday before I departed on Friday, and they're like, hey, we see that you have a permit in Laurel Gap, and then you have another permit for another stay here at LauTriPecsCorner. We just want to let you know the weather's been really bad. We got hit with a storm. You might have some trouble, and yada yada yada. Anyway, long story short, we still made it, And so that Saturday morning, we stopped here at the backcountry or permit office and just kind of reassess the situation. And so there we were, and we drove down all the way for 41, all the way up until like about this area here. And this is where we kind of made our way up a little bit here. So we got off on 425, I think it was, or actually maybe over here down by Mingos Falls, and took this 410 all the way up until we got to this section here. In a week after we arrived, this road was going to be fully open so that you can actually drive all the way up to the starting point, which was the bottom round. I think it's right here, but it was still closed. So this is where we parked, and this is where we left the car, and we actually walked up this road, which was not too bad. I mean, it was paved, easy going. Yeah, you are climbing a little bit, but it was not as bad. So with that, this is the kind of the easy part that we did, and and I'll give you a visual. Now I will show you an actual picture I took with my phone of the backcountry office map that they actually had there. So here's that aerial picture that I took, or my phone picture I took with at the backcountry office. Kind of gives you a perspective of the hills and the area and the shelters that are there, a little bit different than the Google Maps one. So here's Gatlinburg, and here's the 441, and I'm going to zoom it in a little bit here more on where we were. So right now, here's Laurel Gap, and this is where the car was, or is, yeah. And we parked there. We went up this Balsam Mountain trail. We passed this round bottom horse camp there, and this is where we actually started our real, I guess, ascend. Pretty at this point, one of the videos you hear me kind of almost huffing and puffing as I'm trying to talk, and we made it through. We made it all the way up. Let's go down a little bit here, and here's Laurel Gap. So between this part here, which I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, we were about at 2,300 feet in elevation, and we actually climbed a little more than 3,300 feet, somewhere around there. I mean, I have those notes written down, but I'm not going to cut the feet in here and go back and forth, but you get the idea. So this part, this initial 9-mile run was by far the hardest of the trip. It was the hardest. I was actually almost turning back at the 8.9 mile because my calculations were wrong. I thought we were going to hit the shelter at 8.8, but we actually got there at 9.8. So thankfully, yeah, I didn't go back. We didn't go back. Yeah, so we didn't go back. My boys actually were like, "Nah, Dad, we'll make it." I gotta tell you, this piece here for me was oh my God. It had already kind of started drizzling on us. We had already put our crampons on our shoes because it was really slippery. It was slush on the ground, making the hike just that much harder. My first time ever hiking with 45 pounds on my back. So you can imagine, this is where I really had to psych my mind out very well. I was drenched with sweat because I didn't want to stop anymore to take off my rain jacket. So you can imagine, I was like kind of totally beat at this point. But we kept going. And a lot of people call this maybe the tri-corner loop because, you arrive from the south part of the park, and then you hike up to Laurel Gap, you go up to Tri-Corner Knob, and then you go to Peck's Corner, and then there's a campsite 47 right around this area here. And then you keep going, well, actually no, the campsite I think is here, by Unlow. Then you come up, and then you go back down to the car, because you would technically park here in this area. But because that road was closed, we couldn't park here. We had to park all the way down here. In a way, I think it was better because we kind of cut the trail here. Because this little part here, I want to say, based on when we cut the trail, it kind of starts climbing a little bit more at this point. Not that much, obviously, but it does climb a little bit. And by this time, we were beat. We were tired. Any little uphill we would hit, we were just moaning and, oh, another uphill. We're just done with this. So, in a way, I'm glad we didn't park here, and I'm glad we just ended up coming down through this area here. Okay, so going back, so we got here that Saturday night, and literally as soon as we got to that shelter, it just starts pouring on us. And folks, come on, I mean, my 15-year-old and my 12-year-old did it. This is our very first backcountry trip, and as you can see, it is long. You are climbing. You're not getting very high. The Smokies are not that high in elevation. Nothing like Colorado. Not like the Rockies. But you get up to 6,100 feet here at Tri-Corner. Here, I guess we were at 58. Some of the videos I think I said we were at over 6,000. But no, we were about just around 5,800 in this part. And yeah, I mean, this is a big visual for you guys, so that you guys could see exactly what we were up against. You could see kind of the hills here. It's like a little template of the actual area, and this is the Tri-Corner Loop. I mean, people I guess might know it for Tri-Corner. I don't know. I'm still trying to make up a name for this because we have Laurel Gap, Tri-Corner, Peck's Peak, so. I don't know, maybe I'll try to put some creative name based on all these three names together. LauTriPecs Loop, I don't know, something like that. We'll see how it is. But this is where we're at right now in the videos. And if you are watching the videos right now and we are at the first night, this is where we're at Laurel Gap. I am going to post this video up so you guys can have a visual, but obviously I'm going to keep posting more videos of our way of the rest of the trip. And I guess since I have you here watching this, I'll kind of give you a heads up of what's to come. This part here from Laurel Gap to Tri-Corner Knob, which we stopped here for some food for a break. All of this hike here was, we didn't go up anymore that much, maybe a good 5,000 feet, or somewhere around there. But we were walking in slush most of the way. I mean, we got up and started hiking, and I was literally hiking on my t-shirt, as you can see some of the videos. But the actual trail was wet at parts, slush, mud, snow, and because it does warm up during the day, the snow becomes slush, but then at night it becomes, again, it doesn't completely melt. So we're walking in slush. So when we got to Tri-Corner Knob for a break, well, at least my boots were wet. I was using some two-year-old boots, and next time I definitely won't do that. But my two boys had brand new boots, so their feet were a lot more dry than mine. And here we got to Tri-Corner Knob, I don't know, about 3 o'clock maybe, and we still needed another, I don't know, 6 miles to PecsCorner, which we were going to spend our second night. And this is where you hit the Appalachian Trail. And finally, from the beginning of our trip, which was down here, all the way to the Tri-Corner, we did not see a single soul. There were supposed to be 2 other backcountry hikers spending the night in Laurel Gap the same night we did, but they never made it. I guess, the rangers got to them and really talked them out of it. Well, as you can see, when something goes deep in my head, you're not going to really easy talk me out of it. My mind was there. I came here for this monster, and we were going to do it no matter what. And yeah, that first day at Laurel Gap, don't get me wrong, I'm like, man, my back is really, really hurting. I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm going to have to turn back. I'm not going to put my kids through this. What happens if my back goes out later on? It's just going to make it worse. But hey, once I got a good break in Laurel Gap and I rested, hey, I was all good. We pushed through. So anyway, sorry I deviated there, but this is the first time we saw some actual other human beings. So for the first 2 days, well, first full day we saw nobody on the trail. Second day we got to Tri-Corner, like I said, about 3-ish to 3:30, I don't know, somewhere around there. And this is where we finally ran into some people. There was 2 folks that were eating there, and you'll see them on the video when I post the Tri-Corner loop or Tri-Corner Knob Shelter video. And this is where you get out of the traffic from the Appalachian Trail. These guys are doing the through hikes. Most of them are doing through hikes. Actually, another guy was there for the day at the Tri-Corner. I can't remember where he was coming from, but he was there for the day. So that was where we rested. We got back up and we made it all the way to Pecs. We got to Pecs around maybe 6, close to 6 o'clock. Tired. My shoes were wet. Maybe my kids were wet. I don't know. I mean, I kind of blocked some things out because I had to really focus on staying warm. We got dinner together. We got our, we actually got there just on time to get the last 3 spots of the shelter. It was jam-packed with through hikers, and in theory, I mean, this is just kind of nitpicking a little bit. We had the permit, so we get first priority on the shelter because through hikers should have their tents and they could technically stay outside at the shelter. But you're not gonna pull out your permit and say, hey guys, get out of here. Hey, we had 3 spots, we were happy. And it even worked out better because the fuller the shelter, the warmer it was. And it was a colder night actually than the first one at Laurel Gap. So it worked out. It was good. We met some nice people. We talked to them, not that much, but we got a fire going there and hunkered down for the night about 8 p.m. My kids were tired. I was tired. We hung our stuff up, and we went to bed. So the next day we got up, and that was probably our hardest part of the trip. We were cold. I mean, I got up about at least a good hour before my two boys, and you know, I made some nice hot chocolate for them, put it in the thermos that I took. I'm not sure I'll take it again just because of the extra weight you have, but it did serve its purpose that morning. You know, I got up, made them that, so when they got up, they got some nice warm chocolate in their bellies, and you know, putting our feet back into cold frozen boots was not cool. We were cold, and the one mistake I made here is that the trail keeps coming down, and I was very hesitant because there's no sign, there's no arrow key that says, you know, the trail continues this way. You know, you just see the trail, and because we walked through here late that day, there is an arrow key up here somewhere that points that the trail keeps going down. So that Monday morning, we actually hiked back up just to look at that sign to come back down. That was another mile. 0.4 there, 0.4 back, 0.8 miles. I mean, just run up to a mile because we're climbing a little bit up here. And yeah, my boys were right here at this point. They were like, "Oh gosh, Dad, what the? I want to go. I want to quit. I can't take this no longer." But that only lasted for about an hour. You know, once we warmed up and we were ready to roll, we just were happy. And so then we continued down the trail. We came down, and then this is our plan B, going down this Bradley Fork Trail, which would have led us to the Smokemont Loop campsite, or Smokemont campsite. There's a campsite down here, but that was plan B. Why? Because there's actually a river crossing here where the bridge actually got washed out in one of the storms. Yes, we got scared by the ranger saying, "Well, make sure you can, you know, it could be waist high, waist deep high, blah blah blah," but we pushed through and it worked out. We crossed it, no problem. That's, you know, you'll see the videos on that. And then there's another bridge that's still there. I mean, that's not going anywhere. And then the campsite, and then we just kept going, came down, and back to the car. So that's our loop, guys. And I don't know, I guess I'll name it the LauTriPecsCorner loop, the LauTriPecsCorner loop. And I highly recommend it. It was a nice, fun time. We went in you know, late March, I think 3rd week of March. Weather was perfect during the day. It did get cold at nighttime, but I mean, I'd rather take that than take the bugs and the heat and the sun. Not that you get a lot of sun because, you know, it's very, you know, you're surrounded by trees, but you get the idea. This loop is, I think, for me, for my two boys, was a great beginner loop to do a backcountry. We can get to end where we start, which that was an awesome deal. There's a lot of trails where you just you push through and then you have to get a ride back to where you started. But this one is a loop. Great. I highly recommend it. Like I said, my 15-year-old, my 12-year-old did it, and you guys can do it too. You can look at my videos. I'm a first timer on this. Yeah, I did a lot of, you know, day hikes, a lot of camping here in the area, but nothing to this magnitude. My first time, we made it. I can show you my gear. You have any questions, let me know. It was great. I had a great time. When I talk to my kids now, yes, after the fact, they finally told me, they like, "Dad, I thought you were crazy. We didn't want to do this," but they thank me for it. You'll see the videos, and it was a great feeling. I'm not sure I could get them back out there again to do one of these this year, but maybe next year we could plan another one. Maybe a little bit longer, a little warmer weather. You know, not deal with the freezing cold. I don't mind 50s, 60s, but I mean, when it drops down to 30, it gets pretty. It gets you know, it's a more of a mental game. But that's the challenge. I mean, that you have to challenge yourself. You know, you got to get out of your comfort zone. It was great. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I gave you a nice perspective of what we did. And oh, and one thing, the whole loop, I mean, give or take, was 33, 35 miles. Okay, you know, so you're hiking pretty good. You know, that was good for us. We made it. You guys can do it too if you go. And again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like it. I am going to be posting a lot of more things on my adventures with my boys, or if I do solo trips, I'm going to post those on there too. So please subscribe, help me get to my goal, and I really appreciate it. Thank you again for watching, and be happy. Good night.